All right, so this is my presentation. It's titled The Importance of Sadness, and it is a multifunctional perspective. And my name is Blake Caron. All right, so for my emotion project, I chose the movie Inside Out as my art medium. So, Inside Out is a movie produced by Pixar in 2015. The story takes place inside the mind of the main character, an 11-year-old girl named Riley. And the story follows Riley and her family as they abruptly move from their cherished home in Minnesota to San Francisco. Over the course of the movie, Riley struggles to navigate her new life in San Francisco while dealing with emotions like sadness and loss. The movie is unique in that its story is primarily presented through the perspectives of Riley's 5 emotions: joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust, while mostly it's from the perspectives of joy and sadness. So why did I choose Inside Out? So Inside Out presents a unique take on how our emotions both guide and influence our perspectives regarding life events. Inside Out also presents a unique angle on how the suppression of our emotions combined with the unrealistic expectation of being happy all the time can lead to the development of harmful disorders like major depressive disorder or social anxiety. From my own experience, I think that the movie was trying to convey the importance of the influence that our emotions have on our experiences and how emotional regulation contributes to our health and overall well-being. But why did I choose sadness as the emotion to focus on? So the reason why I chose sadness is because in Inside Out, there's emphasis that the movie stresses on the value of sadness. Basically, in Inside Out, it is only through sadness that Riley is able to reach a resolution and conclusion at the end of the movie. So, let's define sadness. Well, sadness is an emotion. It's one of the 6 universal emotions. And sadness as a term can be used to describe it's a term that can be used to describe and encompass a range of dysphoric states of low mood. Sadness can often be identified through physiological reactions such as a lack of energy or appetite, low mood, crying, social withdrawal, and is normally accompanied by feelings of guilt or shame. Some similar terms to sadness include grief, sorrow, despair, desperation, anguish, heartbreak, heartache, mourning, misery, melancholy, and hopelessness. But there are way more than just what I listed. So for my project, I used an article titled "The Quiet Virtues of Sadness." It is an article written by a researcher by the name of Tim Lomas, and is a selective theoretical and interpretive review of literature on the potential virtues of sadness. This article categorizes the functions of sadness into 3 overarching themes. Those themes are sadness as a mode of protection, sadness as an expression of care, and sadness as a vehicle for flourishing. The article's argument is that the experience of sadness for most people is not evidence of a mild disorder, but rather serves as an important instrumental function in their lives and may even be intrinsically valuable in their own right. So let's talk about sadness as a mode of protection. So one way that sadness can act as a mode of protection is by encouraging an individual to withdraw from a goal that may be physically impossible to achieve in that moment. Certain symptoms, like the loss of energy, may serve to regulate patterns of investment. For example, stalling the pursuit of goals that may result in danger, loss, bodily damage, or wasted effort. One way that we can see this function of sadness is when Riley chooses to get off the bus that would have taken her back to Minnesota. So to give some context, close to the end of the movie, Riley ends up in a very depressive state because she's unable to feel happiness or sadness in order to try to restore what has been, in order to restore Riley back to her normal self, the other emotions think of an idea in which Riley should run away from home in San Francisco and go back to Minnesota. However, this goal would have cost her. Well, this goal probably would have caused her a lot of harm, because she was doing this without a lot of structure or safety. She was just going to take the bus back home. In conclusion, it was just very dangerous for her. So, after Sadness returns to the headquarters, Riley is able to realize the magnitude of the decision that she has made, and she exits the bus before any harm can actually come to her. So, sadness can also function as an expression of care. Sadness is the earliest emotion that we are able to express it as infants. And the reason for this is likely that sadness has long been recognized as a care-eliciting behavior, and likewise as a signaling phenomenon which alerts caregivers to distress. So basically, sadness is an emotion that allows us to express when something is wrong. For example, in the movie, or at the end of the movie, when Riley expresses to her parents how sad she was about moving away from Minnesota, she receives comfort and love from her parents, and their bond gets stronger because she expressed to them how she felt and how sad and despairing she felt. So finally, some sadness can function as a vehicle for flourishing. Flourishing, as defined by Lomas, can be described as an overarching term which encompasses various aspects of positive functioning. Flourishing does not just mean having positive emotions, but instead experiencing a whole spectrum of human feelings. We can see this change by comparing Riley's core memories from the beginning of the movie to the end. At the beginning of the movie, all of her core memories are only joyful memories. But in the end, each of her memories are composed of several different emotions. This shows the change that she's gone through. It also shows the importance of having every emotion in your life. Happiness can be a priority, but we shouldn't avoid unpleasant emotions just to satisfy that need or that want of always being happy, because sadness is a part of life. So, while sadness can be shown to have benefits to our overall health and well-being, it is important to stress the difference between sadness as like a typical mood and then depression as a mood disorder. So, sadness and depression are often viewed in the same way because people can experience similar symptoms. However, depression is characterized by depressive episodes which can last up to 6 months and hinder or even impair an individual's ability to function socially or as a member of society. Depression does not have the same benefits that sadness does. It doesn't have any benefits. There are some evolutionary theories that state that depression is a way of bringing loved ones closer to help fix a problem or to reserve energy. But for the most part, depression is a very harmful disorder. Sadness is a typical mood to experience, but sadness and depression are not the same, basically. So, what are the benefits of sadness, and what is the importance of it? So, sadness has a variety of benefits to us. Sadness can function as a mode of protection by helping us reflect on our own perspectives of the world around us before making choices. It can also function as an expression of care, enabling us to bond and love one another, and as well as support and empathize with each other. It also allows us to feel compassion. Finally, sadness is an important part of life. It could lead us to the resolution in our own stories. Thank you. This is my sources.